How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rowlet and welcome back to another video. Today, guys, we're doing another top 5 ROM hacks of the week. Now, if you don't know what this series is, it's basically a series where each week I count down top 5 games that you guys should check out of just basically from the Pokemon community, anything from fan games to ROM hacks. And today we got 5 really good fan games to showcase here today, guys, and they're all amazing. Now, do remember this, I will not always be showcasing games that are super well known. I will be showcasing games that aren't as well known, that not as many people know about, just to kind of give them a bit more appreciation and, you know, get them out essentially to more people, because we all know about Pokemon Uranium, Pokemon Prism, Pokemon Glazed, all these games like Insurgents and whatnot. We all know about them, and it's easy for us to remember them and go and play them again, but not many of these games I'm going to mention now are always mentioned and are always going to be remembered, and people aren't going to always gotta remember to play them or even try them or give them a shot, and maybe some people don't even know that they exist. So today I thought, let's count down 5 games that are really amazing that you should play this week if you have the time. Not all of them, but maybe at least one of them. Either way, guys, let's get right into this with number 5. Number 5. And coming in at number 5, we got ourselves a game called Pokemon Titan. Now, there is something I want to warn you about with this game, and that is the fact that it's actually in Spanish. But don't let that discourage you, because there's a lot of features here, and an interesting fact, and that is that they're making a demo version in English right now, as we're basically making this video, as we're speaking. They're working on an English version, so don't get discouraged. It's still a game I want to talk about, because the features are what really makes this game, and the art style is phenomenal. They've really put a lot of time into this, and I would definitely recommend checking out the link down below to their page, because they talk a lot about like what the game is about, what characters are in it, because they really put a lot of time and effort into that. And this team, a Pokemon Titan team, man, these guys are insane. They're busting their ass to make this, and honestly, major props to them for working on this game like so hard. So here are some of the features that they talk about. It's a very nuzlockable game. Essentially, it has very fast gameplay, huge variety of wild Pokemon, and an addictive difficulty. So it makes it so that nuzlocking it is actually going to be fun and quick, and it's not slow battles that take a decade, which is really good. You can also use the Alt button as a speed up button, just like you would do in a GBA emulator, and not many like, what did I say, like, not many fan games usually do this. Fan games tend to not have speed up buttons, but it's lovely. It is actually phenomenal when a game does add that in. It is always just a huge bonus when people do add that in. It always just helps you, especially when you're grinding. It's just perfect to have that around. You can also play the game in normal mode or randomized mode, which is also great. So you can play the game in just a normal playthrough where normal Pokemon are in the grass, or in a randomized playthrough where you can find legendaries in the grass, which is always awesome. Starters are randomized from Gen 1 to 6, with each new start of the game. So every time you restart a game, there's going to be new starters there between Gen 1 to 6, which is sick, man. I love that. There are also Mega Evolutions, of course. It's always nice to have Mega Evolutions in these sort of games. And also, they do include every single Pokemon from Gen 1 to Gen 6, which is awesome, as well as the fact that this game is recommended to people who do have also bad PCs. It runs very smoothly on bad PCs. I know a lot of people do complain sometimes, say like, oh, does this game play on Mac, or does this game play on, you know, this or that, or can I handle this on my PC? Well, yes, this game is aimed to work on those. At least for PC, it's supposed to work properly. Now, I don't know about Mac, or if they're going to be porting it to that or making a version for that. I am unsure. I do hope they make it that for you guys who do have Macs or Chromebooks or whatnot, but so far, this is all I know. The game essentially aims to be very more on the playability side of things and not having endless dialogue, which is really good. And I love the fact that they're working on the English version, because currently it's a Spanish game, but their post on Poke Community is in English, so you can read through all the information there in English, properly well written. You can just read through all of that information if you want to, guys, because this is definitely a game to look out for. It's really insanely well made, and just the sprite work, the freaking overworld sprites, all this shit, it is so cool, man. It looks so nice. Like, just one of those games I really can't wait to get my hands on once the English demo does get released. Either way, let's go to number 4. Number 4. And coming in number 4, we got ourselves Pokemon Nova. This game is also on that radar. Well, this one isn't in Spanish, but this one's in English, actually, which is really good. And it currently has a lot of parts completed. Pokemon Nova is really far in so far, and it does aim to have over 200 Fakemon. It does have Mega Evolutions, and also edited third generation graphics. So essentially, you have Gen 3 graphics, but they've been edited to look even better, which is always nice. And like I said, 200 Fakemon, that's a huge achievement if, if there are that many exactly in the game at the moment. But I have played Pokemon Nova, and I gotta say, I gotta recommend it. It is definitely a game that has been just so much hard sweat and just sweat and tears have been put into this. So definitely check it out. It does also have new moves as well as moves that are featured from later generations, because this is a Gen 3 base fan game. So, makes sense that they would, implement moves from further generations in the future, essentially. As well as no HMs in this, so you don't need any HMs at all. You do have 2 rivals, actually, which is always splendid, because rivals are always fun in Pokemon games. There are HM leaders and, of course, the Elite Four, and there, of course, is a evil team, and you have a choice of a kind of a story mode between, what basically reads you down 2 routes. So you have 2 options for your story. It can lead you one way or another way, which is always nice. Branching storylines, always good. Love that so much. Either way, it's going to be Pokemon Nova. Now let's go to number 3. Number 3. Now, coming in number 3, we got ourselves Pokemon Primal, which is a sweet little game that I really, really want to talk about because I have played it and done a showcase on it, and it's such a cute little game. Now, here's the thing about Pokemon Primal. It does have a really intricate story, which I do want to read through to you guys here, because this is a really long post here, but it does also have a few features. The features are the smaller part of this game. It really doesn't have too many at the moment, and I'm not sure if it's fully completed yet, but the game is still in the early stages of its development, so please beware, but I want to read the story here for you guys. So, basically, here's how it goes. Its story goes like this. Once there was two dragons that were very interlinked with death. One dragon was a dragon of vengeance, who made people who had suffered a loss grow angry and seek out revenge to those who caused them to lose a loved one or loved item. Then there was a dragon of honor. This dragon helped people who had suffered great losses, helped them to be inspired by the dearly departed and honor the life they had, and celebrate it rather than mourn it. These 2 dragons traveled the world, affecting many they came across. Both dragons were enemies to each other, but their own goals were essentially to just stay happy or angry, which is, I guess, fair enough. Eventually, the dragons' paths crossed and they fought. They both fought and both lost. The power used in the battle caused such a huge explosion that seas moved and land left basically just a lot of watery spots and a lot of watery spaces. And essentially, through this, the land became the Porma region. This area, a set of islands were created in the sea far south of Hoenn. Humans eventually moved there, and islands became very populated, and the dragons were worshipped as gods. Many scholars and scientists found ancient ruins, beacons that could be lit, and the dragons could return. So, essentially, the thing here is that I assume when they say dragons, I'm not sure if the story actually aims towards saying that, oh, there may be a Pokemon dragon like a Fakemon that will be created, or if just talk about I don't know, I can't really think of a Pokemon that what I don't know, Zekrom, maybe, maybe Reshiram, something like that. That's the best thing I can come up with, but I'm unsure. Maybe it's, Zekrom, Reshiram, whatever, just one of those things. Maybe it's one of those, or it's actually just Fakemon created dragons, which would be cool. Now, as for the features for this game, it has around 50 Pokemon to capture, which is really small. That is really small, I gotta say, but it is still in early development, and it's a very small, compact game, and you currently only have one island to kind of traverse, so of course it doesn't have too much, but hey, it's still in the early stages, man. This is a really, really new game, so I'll give it some time. I'll let you guys kind of just, take your time, delve into it. It's a very small game. It does also only have 2 gyms to fight at the moment, 3 legendaries to battle. Locations are also listed below in the post on the website. And also, you get to basically just, enjoy this cute little game. It's just a really compact, small game. That's why I wanted to mention it. Either way, let's go to the next one on the list, lads. Number 2. Now, coming in next is going to be a very nice looking game. It's called Pokemon Virion. Now, Pokemon Virion has a few features that are pretty interesting, but it also does really have just probably the coolest, art style. Because I just love the Gen 4 graphics, and whenever I see them in a Fakemon game, or just a fake game, or fan game rather. Why did I say fake game? That makes no sense. Fan game, sorry. Whenever I see them in a fan game, I always love them, and they always just look splendid. Now, as for the features for Pokemon Virion, we have an Unreal time system. The game clock will start on March 21st, 2010. The date I've estimated it to be in the Pokemon timeline, assuming Red and Blue are set in 1996, and it will only tick when the game is being played. So essentially, it is based on a real-time or like unreal-time system, but in this world of Pokemon, essentially, which is really interesting concept. I've never really heard of that before. It's kind of a weird way to like roll things. Now, it does have Shadow Pokemon. Shadow Pokemon are Pokemon that have had the door to their hearts closed by artificial means. This once used to be only possible in Cypher's Sinister Labs, but now they can also happen anywhere due to Cypher's new little virus. To purify a Shadow Pokemon, the player must battle with them and carry a Pokemon on hand until it is ready to be purified. Once that point is ready, a Shadow Pokemon can either be purified with a purified chamber or at the Lake of Purity. So essentially, you have Shadow Pokemon, these Pokemon virgins that are like evilish and whatnot that you have to purify of their shadowy evil. I'm not even gonna get into that. That just sounds so cool, man. I've never even heard that sort of concept before, which is, hey, it's pretty dandy. I like it. So purifying Pokemon, hey, I wouldn't mind. Either way, they do also have Pokepager. The Pokepager acts as a replacement for HMs in the Thunder region. It allows the player to page special health Pokemon to help clear obstacles in his or her way. Now, this is reminiscent of the features, or no, not reminiscent, this is literally the feature from Sun and Moon, but this is in a fan game. Remember, this is a huge difference between a fan game and official Pokemon game. Official Pokemon games are made by a huge studio, Game Freak. This is made by a little group of people, or just individuals by themselves out there in the Pokemon community, and Pokemon Variant has this sort of feature which is just sick, man. I love that. Now, we do have another thing in this game called birth signs. Pokemon now have special birth sign based on which month it was born in. Each birth sign grants special benefits to the Pokemon. So essentially, when your Pokemon was born, depending on where in the game or like what time it was born in, that will actually grant it different, I assume, abilities, or maybe, I mean, I was gonna say typing, so that makes no sense. Probably abilities and maybe even moves and stuff will change depending on like those kind of aspects and when it was born and whatnot. Now, this is really interesting, and they do also have Pokemon following you, which is always beautiful because we all love that Soul Silver and Heart Gold feature. It was always splendid. We always loved it, and having it back is splendid as always, lads. Either way, let's go to number 1 on this list, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1. And coming in finally on the list is going to be Pokemon Crimson Skies. And holy crap, I don't know how I've missed this game. I only recently discovered it, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this. It is a game that is insanely well made, and I do not know how I missed it. Now, for those of you out there, and this is really important, for those of you out there who are looking for a complete game, this is the game for you. This is a fan game that is about, like, 80% completed. They only have one more gym to do, as far as I know, and of course the Elite Four. They have 7 gyms completed. That is really far in. They're about 80 to 90% done. Just the, last gym, and then the Elite Four, and they are done with it. The game is being really well developed, and not only that, it has some great features, as well as just a great look. So, all 721 Pokemon will be obtainable. Of course, that is from Gen 1 to 6. We have a new region to explore, as usual, 6 new gym leaders, and a new Elite Four. Always splendid. Interesting gym locations. Instead of all of them being in a town, they were kind of spread out in forests and whatnot, or in mountains, or in volcanoes, which is really cool. And actually, if you look at the screenshots, there's some really interesting concepts where you can find stuff or how it looks. Really interesting. And also a very interesting storyline full of suspense and mystery according to the creators, which I really do hope it does have, because I'm currently playing Pokemon Unbound, and that game has some really cool, the storyline is just really cool to me. I love it. And having an interesting storyline like that, I always love that, and it's always beautiful. This game does also have challenging battles, which I assume means that it will be slightly harder on the harder side of things. It does have following Pokemon like the previous game, Variant, and that is always good. I love that so much. And there's hopefully going to be more to come according to the creators, which is always good to hear. Even for a game that's pretty much completed almost, which is just insane, man. Now, what makes me so happy is that this game is already so far in. It's almost close to completion. So if you're looking for a longer game, if you're tired of playing games that are just short, or if you're tired of playing games that aren't completed or not even close to being completed, or just like 2 gyms or whatnot, if you don't want to play something like that, then this is the game for you. Pokemon Crimson Skies. It is just perfect, man. The art style, beautiful. The features, great. Just a perfect game, or number 1 spot on this list, lads. Either way, all these games are worth playing, guys, so please check them out. There's going to be links down below to all these games, and I thank you all for watching today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you, and see you later, trainers.